Hi everyone, it's Kino here. When you're working on getting into lotus position and then adding your lotus position into inversions or other postures, it's really important to open your hips successfully. So let's go through some movements so you can safely get into a lotus position in an inversion, meaning totally upside down. The first thing we're gonna do is a nice easy stretch in full lotus position. So take your legs out in front, bend your right knee to close it, pull it all the way in. Bend the left knee underneath, pull it all the way in. If you don't know how to get into a full lotus position, check out my other video on getting safely into full lotus position. Any pain in your knees is an indication that this is too advanced for you, so go back to opening your hips before you proceed. If your lotus feels good, we're gonna deepen the lotus by giving a nice stretch to the front of the hip. So orient yourself forward on the mat, and then first thing you're gonna do is just lie down. And you wanna lie down so that you press the feet into the ground and you press the elbows down. It's important that your hips are as close to the ground as possible. So press the bones of your pelvis right here into the ground as far as you can, and see if it's possible to press your feet a little bit into the ground. And we'll just hold that for a few moments, and this is gonna help open your hips for deep lotus position. If you can lie down like this, then you should be able to get into a nice deep lotus position, upside down. Just to give yourself a little test, come into up dog with your knees on the ground, lift your chest, and that'll further open the front of your hips. Now, reach forward, press down with your iliac crest and lift the knees, float your knees, release your lotus, and come all the way back. Okay, so if you could do that successfully, you can probably get yourself into lotus position upside down. So let's give that a try. And we're gonna do that from Pincha Mayurasana, okay? So here we go. If you don't know how to get into Pincha Mayurasana, check out some of my other videos on how to move into this nice deep forearm balance, okay? So here we go. Pressing your elbows into your foundation. Inhale, Pincha Mayurasana, lean it forward, find your balance. Press through the shoulders, come all the way up, find a nice deep balance. Then send your left knee back, left leg back, right foot onto the left hip crease. Bend back, then come into almost like a half lotus position. Bring the left foot on top, aim it down, then point your knees all the way up, and you're in a nice lotus position, balancing upside down, okay? You can release the lotus just like that. And I'll show you one more time. You have to make space in the hip joint in order to make that happen. You have to point the right knee up to the ceiling, and then nice and easy, just float that left foot down. If the left foot gets stuck and you're right here, you might need to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle in order to get that down. Once you're here, you can squeeze your lotus a little bit, or if you're starting to lose the balance, you just release, coming back to Pincha Mayurasana, and exhale, lowering down, okay? So those are some tools to help you get in to a nice deep lotus position when you're upside down. Remember, if your lotus is tight, you really have to open your lotus before you try it upside down. So do that stretch before, and once you can safely get into lotus upside down, you can take your lotus into other deeper postures that you can enter from the inversions, like Karandavasana. But remember, don't try that until you're nice and stable in the practice. Keep practicing, let your hips open, and surely it will come.